So 10, 11 till I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 till I was 17, 18. Hey, welcome everybody. Yeah. We got the Alts on air here. My name is Bert Kreischer. I'll be your host all day. First candle coming in. Oh, he sees a big heifer at 11:15. Do I got a 115 from Camouflage Hip Hop over there? Southernly gentlemen. Southernly gentlemen. Nothing, no kettle for you, huh? So understand the process and what's about to go on. I got my game plan. First cows that come out are John's. I like it. Follow my lead. All right, here we go. Showtime. Are you ready? What happens if you accidentally buy one?
I'm not gonna buy one.
Don't worry. There we. Okay, this is getting really quick. Here we go. Like $1,000. Maybe no one else bid. I thought there was gonna be more action. Okay. Crying. How fast did anybody else bid? I thought I was gonna press. Poor Joe. Can someone please find out how much I spent on this cat? How do we know how much we paid for this? I've got 2 kids and 2 dogs and a rescue cat. My wife's going to kill me. Looks like the total is 14 O's and I had 9, $1,400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, and 31 dollars and 11, 31. I can make change. I think the haggling part's over, Bert.
Yeah.
Should have haggled more in there, huh? You should. I guess you should. Money just went so quickly. If you'll just put your address on there. Oh, it's B-E-R-T, please. Oh, B-E-R-T. Give my home address, Valley Village. I don't know how I'm going to get this thing to California. You got any friends who are ranchers out there? Is it just me or that really happened fast, right? Your hand went up and he just said, sold, God. Are there different fan motions that you're supposed to use? You're pretty assertive. You went pretty high with it. You think people thought they were being nice and just let us out because we were in on the action? What are you going to name it? I'm going to name it Soul the Scene. I'm going to name it. Really would get a hold of my wife. Well, we got good news and we got bad news. All right. All your cattle sold. That's good news.
What's the bad news? I bought one.
Oh, did you? What'd you do? Go with you and put your hand up? Got it. Did you really get it? I swear to God, I bought that job this way a little more. That's good. A little more. You got to clear. All right. This is your home. You're out here with the horses you're going to love. Keep acting like that. I'm not going to open the gate. Open them both. All right, buddy. Hide behind one. Get out of the way. This is your new home. Get out of the way. All right, just take off. This is all yours. You're John's now. I'm going to come back and visit you. No castration. You think I ought to tell him that he's already been branded and already been castrated? Unfit mother. Let me tell you something. You better be this dead because how do you come out of the woods? I'm going to kill your ass. Now, I'm going to count to 3. If you ain't out of them woods at the count of 3, you live here. 1, there he is. Let's go. Because black mama's real. They don't play, but all mamas get tired. Because when white mamas get fed up.
Oh, y'all get fed up. Like I've had it up to here.
I'm sick of your insubordination. You don't stay in timeout. You don't eat your vegetables. You know what? I got an idea. Everybody get in the car. We're trying to go for a ride down by the lake. And the kid's like, yeah. We going for a ride down by the lake. But my mama might not ever take us for a ride down by the lake. But she'll read that in the paper and she'll use it as a scary text. She'll be like, ooh wee. That mama got tired of them damn kids and took they ass for a ride down by the lake. Let me tell y'all something. Keep messing up. And I'm going to take y'all ass for a ride down by the lake. I'd be in the background talking about, first of all, you got to get a car. Because I don't think the bus driver is going to let you take everybody on the bus for a ride down by the lake. I've been Lavelle Crawford. Thanks a lot. Great audience. Give yourselves a hat. Good. It was good, Mexican American. More Cheech and Chong after the break. Everything's been funny. This is a really wonderful lineup of really funny comedians. I was figuring out today, we haven't been into Montreal in about 37 years the last time we were here. So tonight, we'd like to do something very special. Special for you. We only do this once a night. And we'd like to do something. It's a very serious song. It's a song of my people, and I hope you like it. Mexican American don't like to just get into gang fights. They like flowers and music, and white girls named Debbie too. Mexican Americans love education, so they go to night school and they take Spanish and get a B. Mexican Americans don't like to get up early in the morning, but they have to, so they do it real slow. Mexican Americans love the nanas and the nonos and the nanas and the nani nino, but don't call them beaters. They're all over the place. Don't call them beaters. They'll up and kick you in the face. Call them beers even though they drive real low. Don't call them beaters even though they drive low. Goddamn slow. They'll call him Beater. They don't like to be called Peter. You can dress them up, but you can't take them out. It's the only thing. Listen, where was I? Oh, yes, my people, Mexican Americans, are named Chada and Cheda and Cheda and Cheda and Cheda and Lil Cheda and Cheda and have a son-in-law named Jeff. Mexican Americans don't like to go to the movies where the dude has to wear contact lenses to make his blue eyes brown. Because don't make my brown eyes blue.
Is it time for the races?
Mexican Americans live in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Antonio, San Francisco, and now all over Canada. Void, and she just gets cold up there. Mexican Americans have been here forever, and we're going to be here forever, and we only want what's fair. Mexican Americans, thank you, man. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us on Just for Laughs. Now the credits are going to roll. We don't really expect you to stick around for this, but I have to. Would appreciate it if you did. It's my name. Woohoo. Fourth. No, the fifth cameraman is hot. Okay, then, I'm done. Can I go now? Oh, for crying out loud. What, mommy? It's over. It's over. Kevin, what you've achieved in your career is not even scratching the surface of who you are. You are very not only deserving of this award, but people don't understand what you've done to the business. Do you know how many tickets you've sold since you started doing concerts? I called and checked. I know too, 500 million. 500 million people watch this man. Stand in front of him and make him laugh. Kevin is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen. And Kevin is one of the greatest men that I've ever known. Hello, Jerry. We bring joy to our environment. People don't know all the things that comedians go through and how difficult, how heavy it is to wear the crown. But man, I swear to God, you do it with so much grace, so much kindness, man. I know every story of all the comedians that you help out. I know how you go out to Philadelphia and support your neighborhood. And I know that inside you feel awful sometimes. But I've never seen it on your face, and I've never felt it in your presence. And I am honored to know somebody like you. I really wish you would have come when I won this award for office.
No.
This is not legislation, right? These are jokes by someone who doesn't read. Okay, just everybody relax, yeah? People put so much on. I know. Now I'm excited to be here. I am. It's very exciting to be doing stand-up outside of my own country. Yeah. No, not because of you. That's how it's become us. Everything's so goddamn every joke you tell. Well, what did you mean about that? I didn't go to the gym today. Are you calling me fat? I feel triggered. Gotta fucking apologize to everybody. This is how screwed up my country is right now. You know Bryan Cranston, right? That dude did a movie. He played a quadriplegic. And people gave him be like, why is there an able-bodied person playing a quadriplegic? It's like, it's because it's called acting. You dumb. See, if he was a quadriplegic playing a quadriplegic, that's not acting. That's just laying there saying that someone else wrote, you're still doing a lot of acting too, right? She shot a big movie.
Yeah.
I shot a Pete Davidson's big movie, yeah. How did that go? Well, I didn't get fired. Yeah. Who knows? Get cut out. You never know. It went great. And it was the first time I got to work with Judd Apatow where I've worked with him in a more like distant way. Like I did Pete's show Crashing because I think that comes out June of next year. But I got to do an episode of The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau, the new Star Wars thing. I got to see in that, yeah. Oh my gosh. What? This is sports fan meathead who doesn't watch any sci-fi. You're going to be in Star Wars. Just say, I was like, are you a Star Wars? No. You know what this is like? This is like when Joe DeRosa met Joe Torre. He goes, yeah, I met this guy the other night. He was somehow connected with the Yankees because he was still managing. It was Joe Tutelage. I'm like, Torre, he goes, yeah, is he like a big, he's that face guy. I was like, dude, I'm going to strangle you. I know, right? I'm going to strangle you. Why? He's like, I want to go buy vintage t-shirts. Yeah. So he already went off on me for being in Star Wars. And I told him, I go, this is your payback for meeting Joe Torre. Fair enough. Fair enough. What did you do what did you wear in what Star Wars? I don't know that they are like, that's very secretive. This is like, how much money is in the Federal Reserve? I don't think I'm allowed to say anything. Yeah. All that Netflix, say anything. Yeah. All that Netflix. If you look at the trailer, you see the back of my bald head for half a second. Oh my God. Oh, so you're not in a helmet. I love it. My head is a helmet. It would have been redundant. That's like a joke. A hat on a hat. Oh my God. That's exciting. You're a busy guy. Bill. Yes, I am. What about SS for Family? We're finishing up season 4. Holy. Editing that. And that should be out sometime next year. But for you, stand-up will always be number 1. Yeah. Well, you're very generous with comics. I was talking to Tom about how when I was early on the Comedy Store, you were so good to me. and we'll watch sets. Oh my God. When you did that punchlines and stuff, and it was so cool when you did that bit. She's my best friend. I was just like, I don't think you understand how funny you are. And she just kept booking TV shows and was annoying. It's just like, stop fucking. They're giving you chicken feed. You're a star. Get out there on the tell you. Wait till her hour comes out.
Yeah.
Forgetting all about mine. I'm telling you, there's nobody has a vibe. Like, you're hilarious. And you got this chill, cool vibe that I loved. And then you also know how to unleash. Like some comics, you know, when they get loud, then they just stay there too long. Yeah. And then it gets annoying. But like, you know how to, like, if you know how to use it, you can just, yeah, you know, blow them back in the seat and then bring them back down again. You know, it's awesome. I love it. I love it. You've always been so good to me, and it really was always much appreciated. There we go. We sound like one of us is on our deathbed. I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so nice to me. What is this announcement you're going to make? Keep my name alive. Fortunately, I brought him up at the store a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is one of the nicest because you're so nice to me. And I mean, you're nice to everybody, but I love you so much. I'm like, he's one of the nicest guys there is. And you come out, you're like, do you really have to say that? I'm about to go rant about a bunch of shit. I'm the nicest guy. The nicest guys ever talk about people in wheelchairs, but it means a lot. It does. When you're a new, like a newer comic, you're coming up, it's intimidating. Well, that's because people did that for me and I didn't forget it. And I remember what it meant to me. I had one. Dave Chappelle said something to me in the early 2000s. I held on to that
Yeah.
in comedy condos and hell rooms for like the next 5 years. Dave said I was funny, right? Dave thinks I'm funny. Dave thinks I'm funny. Head that for me, honestly. I'm not saying that because you're on your deathbed, but you're on your deathbed. But you are. Comedy deathbed. When I'm on the road and I'm in a green room that's, you know, basically a broom closet, I'm like, Bill said I was funny, and it does carry you through those weekends sometimes, yeah. Well, you're so lost in the beginning, you really don't know whether you have no confirmation of, and there's no like roadmap. So you're like, is this going to lead to anything? Am I doing this even remotely right? And you don't have blinders on. Like, I'm just going to do what I find my own journey. What? No, you just totally almost see like an, oh, yeah. What is that guy doing? You know, I need to be doing what he's doing. He's like mapping out his shirt and everything.
Yeah.
What agent he's with, and you're just ping-ponging. Yeah. Yeah, Joe. Yeah. Joe Coy came in here and was like, my street team. Tom and I were like, we need a street team. Why don't we have a street team? You're like, what are we doing? And what keeps you going was what I started to learn was just like, well, I started before cell phones. You'd get in, you just drive back into Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston, and then you would find the nearest comic and tell them the story.
Yeah.
And then they would be logged. And then, of course, try to top your story about, like, you know, that's nothing. And then one time I had this happen. It just made you feel like, all right, well, I got a story to tell. And then it also made me feel like a comedian. I heard the older guys, you know, telling the stories. And I was just like, I don't have any stories. I went to an open mic and it didn't go well because it was my fault. There was no any, you know, other elements involved. So then once I started doing, you know, rooms outside and, oh, there's nothing better than hearing about your suffered. Bill Burr's special paper, Tiger, is streaming on Netflix now. Go and watch it. He also has some big tour dates coming up. Go to BillBurr.com. Look at all his dates. He's going all over Cosmopolitan in Vegas. And, of course, listen to his Monday morning podcast, one of the best podcasts out there. Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen. Women go to restaurants and lose their goddamn mind. They got to order from that expensive side of the menu. The side with the steak and the lobster. And the Dom Perignon guys like to give them that little warning too, huh? Ooh. Honey, you understand that's the fucking side of the menu. You understand that? It's steak, lobster, and dick. It is a combination. If a nigga really wanted to rape me, what can I really do? Be honest. Like, if you get past my scuffle, that's it. I got to take one for the team. That's all I got. If you get past my scuffle, hey, get the fuck off, nigga. Nigga, ladies, you got to start taking some responsibility for your own miserable life. If you're over 25 years old, you still walking around here talking about niggas ain't shit. Bitch, you need to grow the fuck up with your irresponsible ass. What you meant to say was all the niggas you fuck with ain't shit. That's right. You need to figure out what it is about your pussy that keep attracting ain't shit niggas. Might be ain't shit pussy. Imagine if Michael Jackson was from the project. What if Michael Jackson was a pimp? Should be him and Tito be riding around in the Cadillac and shit. Slow down, Tito. Slow down, Tito. Damn. Is that my hobo that's sitting on the couch? Her? Let me out. Come here, girl. I said, come here, girl, with my money. How much you got, Micah? I'm sorry. All I got is $100 bill. Girl, you've been out here all day and all you got is the $100 bill. Keep it in the closet. I think Michael's on crack. I bet you Michael's at home. Mike is like, only white folks was shocked when they saw that tape. Police whooping black folks in the black community ain't no new shit. When I saw that, I thought it was a fucking new Timex commercial. I didn't know what the fuck it was. But that's all right. Because the brother getting paid, he getting $1 million for every blow. $50 to $6 million. I'm looking to get fucked up. I'm doing 300 miles an hour in a Volkswagen yelling out the window. Fuck the police. Fuck all your bad trade, motherfuckers. Come over here, whip my ass. Give me my case. The issue was not whether Lorena Bobbitt did what her husband claimed she did. The facts about the act were evident. She cut his dick off, drove down the highway, and threw it out the window. Carl Overham, want you to proceed down on the freeway. See if you can't locate a dick. She obviously got 20/20 vision. She found a little thing that was very difficult to find. So, Los Angeles Police Department is actively searching for Mr. Simpson. You know who the real victim is? Ike Turner. Because Ike was the king of the Wolverbeater. So OJ took his title. Don't nobody give a fuck about OJ and all that old punk ass shit. Niggas just want to know, when is the next riot? Fuck that. We, the jury, find the defendant. Warrenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder. I want Johnny Cochran in my corner. He was like a magician. If it don't fit, you must acquit. And so I actually heard white people say that they were so upset and angry with the verdict that they couldn't sleep. Yeah, well, you know, black people have had it, man, for 400 years. Every prison is filled with niggas, just overcrowded with niggas. One motherfucker gets away. Hey, we got to take a look at the justice system. It's not working. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I went to the doctor and I was like, all right, I'm just going to get a checkup, see what's going on. The honest truth is I knew it wasn't going to be awesome. Okay. I knew the doctor wasn't going to be like, you might be surprised to hear this, but you're perfect. Like, you're a perfect physical specimen, man. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I didn't expect him to be a dick. Usually they're not. I feel like, in my experience, poggers are polite, almost overly polite, where it's phony and condescending. When they go, oh, really interesting story you got there, doctors do that. Because you're telling them a story, and doctors don't want to hear a story. Doctors want to hear this hurts not. I was over at my friend Charlie's house, and we went to move the ottoman. And, I mean, you can use it as a coffee table, or you could use it as an ottoman. It's up to you. And your doctor's like, I want to blow my fucking brains out right now. I go in there, I sit on the exam table, which is my least favorite table to sit on in the world. This is the only table that in 30 years I've sat on where my feet don't touch the ground. So I feel like a fucking toddler waiting. Like, my doctor comes in, he doesn't say hello, he doesn't say good morning. He just walks in, he points at me, which is super aggressive, you know, to start a conversation with somebody like, hey, man. You're like, hey, what's, man? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, what? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, I don't get it. And he goes, has nobody told you that your hair's falling out? I was like, damn, no. And he goes, oh, sorry. All right. All right. And then he pulls my chart out of the slot, super dramatic, so that it makes a fucking noise. He goes, wow. And I'm like, really? Wow? Is it full vol AIDS? Like, why is wow? He goes, you weigh 245? And I go like, yeah, like I knew that shit. And he goes, you weighed 230 last time you were here. Not exactly what I would call weight loss. I'm like, oh, he had a fucking roast or something? Like, what are you doing? Then he says, you know, you're the fattest patient I've seen all day. And I go, it's 9:30 in the morning. And it goes, still. He's like, you know, we ran your blood work. It turns out your muscle enzymes are through the roof. And I go, yeah, man. Like, I'm super strong. Like, how is that a problem?
And he goes, they're off the charts. So I'm like, even better.
I'm probably your strongest patient, man. And he goes, I don't think you understand muscle enzymes. And I go, that's true. I don't know what they are. And he goes, well, the only way you could have them this high would be like if you were an Olympic athlete, which clearly, you know, I'm like, dude, what is the deal, man? And he goes, the other way would be if you were a cocaine addict. And I go, I don't do coke. And he goes, I'm your doctor. You don't have to lie to me. I go, I'm not lying. And he goes, I can't treat you if you're not going to be honest. And I go, hey, man, aren't cokeheads skinny? Isn't that like part of the deal? And he goes, usually, yeah. The nurse comes in, she takes my chart out of his hands, and she goes, oh my God, his muscle enzymes are so high. Maybe he runs marathons. And my doctor goes, look at him. So at this point, I go, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to leave now. And he goes, all right. And he goes, all right. And he goes, hold on a second. Do you have a ring on your finger? And I go, yeah. And he goes, you're married? And I go, yeah. And he goes, to a guy? And I go, no. And he goes, oh, I thought you were gay. And I go, why? And he goes, oh. I'm like, all right, dude. And he goes, hey, I'm just kidding. And I go, that's fine. It's fine. Why? Just get out. And he takes my chart and he shows it to me, and he had written gay question mark on my medical chart. The thing that gets sent to other doctors has his inside. Maybe he sucks cock joke written on it. I went home. I told my wife. She's like, oh my God, what are you going to do? And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I mean, are you ever going to go back there? I'm like, are you out of your mind? That's the funniest fucking doctor in the world. Of course I'm going back there. I have like Don Rickles as my primary care physician. It's amazing. I'm exteriors to go back to this guy. You know, you're a piece of like, yeah. No. I have an idea of what I want to talk about basically in my phone. And what I'll do is I go on and I talk about the stuff. I try my best to avoid long conversations. This is my kind of stuff. I will avoid going to certain locations. I know a long talker is in that venue. Is Pete there? I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go like, you know, you're talking to a long talker. So when they say, let me talk to you real. No one says, let me talk to you real slow. For some reason, long talkers, they always need to rest something, whether it's their hands and their knees. As soon as I say, long story short, you're in trouble. Me and Eddie, have you talked? I'm like, Eddie, you're a large reason why I'm doing stand-up comedy. It's never a white guy. But be that as it may, what if I said Dice was the reason I started because of Dice? What? I'm talking to him and I'm like, why don't you want to do it? Because we're talking and Eddie's still funny. We want to see it. We want to see you, man. I want to see. And what he said was, it's like cold water, because what I left from is very hard to beat. The expectations are so high, and that's what makes the water cold. When you see a great comedian with a bunch of great stuff, you're going, wow, I can't believe this guy crosses that far in his belly. Because, you know, that's the only way he got there. I've had my lumps in the beginning. I've had lumps, Jerry. Age 22, 24, I got a deal for $25,000. I just made it. I'm rich. This is a real conversation I had with my brother. All right. First things first, I'm going to get you and Mom a house. I'm going to go ahead, get Dad, square Dad away. So there's 3 houses. Yeah. Let's knock that out, cars. You want what? Dad, you've been talking about a truck. Done. Go head out to La. Probably find me something. But just know we all said instantly, money's all gone. I'm on the phone with my business manager at the time. All right, Kevin. Well, we owe the IRS. You know, we haven't had the tax talk. We got to cut some bills, Dad. We're going to have to sell that house. Can't do that, son. My dad had 9 people living in the house. But as comedians, not a lot of us get a lot of chances. And I was in that grinding mode for 13 years. Oh, really? Oh, I was. I mean, Jerry, I've been doing comedy since I was 18. I'm 35. My last 4 to 5 years have been in upswing. You ever see that musical Little Shop Horse? Yeah.
I think that's what TV is.
One of us is going to get eaten here. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Either you're going to eat me or I'm going to eat you. Yes. And I was at that point with the show and I thought, I can't believe I beat that box. But if I stay, it's going to go bad. It's going to go bad and it will eat me. By the way, this is probably in the top 2 best conversations I've ever had in my life. The first one would be my dad explaining to me why he had to do drugs. Really, hearing a comedy, I had to listen. Everybody did it. Yeah. You think I was by myself, your aunt, your uncle? That the best conversation I've ever had. Escape rooms normally happen in like a mall. This was in a dude's house. He had converted every room in his house into an escape room, much like John Wayne Gacy. We pull into the neighborhood. My dad's like, no fucking way. George is like, Pop, I heard it's really scary. He goes, I'm shitting my pants right now, ladies. We see a house painted all black, no landscaping. Leanne's like, I think that's it. My dad's like, keep fucking going, get out. Go up to the door, knock on the door. Dude's already in character. Oh, dude, it's La. This guy's good. Silk robe, towel around his head, stroking a kitty cat. And he just goes, have you seen my mother? My dad grabs my hand. He goes, what the fuck did he just say? He's looking for his mother. And he goes, tell him his mother can suck my dick. My dad's like, is this real? Is this real? I go, it's part of the escape room. Dad, just play along. He goes, would you guys like to see a tour of my house and my mom's in it? Yes, we would love to see a tour of your house. What's your mother's name? How old is she? Where did she go to college? Take these down, Ayla. These are notes. So we go on a tour of the house. The women are into it. And my dad is is picking this guy apart left and right. He's like, he smells like shit, buddy. I think he fucking lives here. I think he lives. What kind of fucking lunatic lives where every room isn't? He was just eating lunch, Bagay. He's eating mac and cheese with coffee. Who the fuck drinks coffee? Black coffee with mac and cheese. He's got ibs. I guarantee you he's got ibs. I'm like, I don't think these are helpful clues, Dad. The guy comes in. He goes, would you guys like to see mother's room? Dad goes, absolutely fucking not. My mom's like, yes, we want to see your mother's room. He's like, well, the mother doesn't allow car keys, cell phones, or wallets in a room, so you'll need to empty your pockets and put them on the kitchen table. I'm like, sheep. We're like, okay. We empty our pockets, walk into the room, and the second I step into the room, I feel the door shut and lock behind me, and I have a panic attack. The first thing I think is he didn't ask our names. We didn't give him a credit card. We didn't fill out a waiver. We didn't even really check the address. We just saw one sketchy house in a neighborhood, knock on the door. He presented a problem. We're like, the Scooby-Doo gang will figure it out. And now we're locked in his fucking house. Dad's next to me going, tell me where I steer wrong in this story. Did you just walk your family into a serial killer's house? George goes, Papa, isn't this scary? He goes, you have no fucking idea. You two are getting sold to the goddamn Adanians tonight. You'll be working in a Chechen whorehouse the rest of your lives. I was like, Papa, how do you think we get out of here? Because, I think I'm out. I have to suck that guy's dick, Sam. I can't tell you where to go. I can tell you where not to go. Wherever they filmed the first 48 on A&E. If you're not familiar with the show, here's what it is. Camera crews follow real homicide detectives for the first 48 hours after a murder. And the reason that that time distinction is so important is that after 48 hours, they give up on that murder. They're like, that's some old shit. What do you want to do today? You're like, how about you keep trying to solve that murder, man? That shit happened on Monday. That's Verzi. We're not going to solve that shit. Really? There are so many amazing moments on that show. So many. A lot of the episodes take a similar path. I'm blown away, first of all, at how many times there's a witness to a murder. It's crazy. I always thought murders happen in dark alleys. Nobody saw shit. No. Every other episode, like, you see that shit? And I was like, I saw that shit. Yeah. Weird. Right? Fucking here? Really? Oh, I was standing here. And then he killed that dude there. What he looked like, he was like 5'2" to 6'8", something like that. And they're like, that's the fucking description you're going to give us, huh? Anything else about him? Yeah, he had ears too. Thanks, man. No problem. They still will vex that shit out. I don't know. And they show it to people. You know this guy? And everyone's like, nah. But then knowing I will be like, yeah, that's Cricket right there. You're like, oh, shit. You know him? I've been known Cricket 27 years. What's his real name, man? That's just Cricket. And I don't even know. Stop being white and weird. That's a perfect fucking impression. And you know exactly who that was. Okay, yeah, it's a black guy, and he's wearing a wife beater, and he's got on a dirty hat, and he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And he looks like he's about 33, but you find out he's 76 years old, and he speaks super aggressively to the cops. I've been out here for a minute. They're like, all right, Jesus Christ. When was the last time you saw him through with jellyfish? Last week. They were looking for some smoke, and they're like, all right, Jesus Christ. They always cut to the whitest detective from that guy, too. They cut from that guy to the guy who's like, I don't think he's going to help us out. We're going to have to find Cricket on our own. That show is the best moment in television, is the most dramatic thing you could ever see because it's real life, and that is the interrogation. Interrogation is amazing because here's the thing about drama. You want to have a great dramatic moment, raise the stakes. There's no higher stakes than somebody being questioned about taking somebody else's life. It's inherently compelling television. It is also super serious, but the detectives insist on using the suspect's street name. So the whole thing turns into a fucking cartoon. Like they're literally like, your life is on the line. We need to talk to you. Why don't you have a seat? Little stank. Why don't you sit down for a second? Did you or did you not know Dookie Shoes? I don't know. No Dookie Shoes. I got a picture of you hanging out with Dookie Shoes. I mean, I seen I don't know. And then they'll throw one bit of evidence against the wall, hoping it'll solve the case. They'll be like, well, we were talking to Nami, and he said that you were at the 7-Eleven last week. And he'd be like, yeah, I shot him in the face. And you're like, God damn. Really? That's all it took to break you, dude. Be alive for longer. You can kill somebody. You can't lie for 10 fucking minutes about it. Like, dudes will break anything. They'll be like, we heard you had on a blue shirt last Friday. Yeah, I stabbed those 4 people, dude. A lot of people had blue shirts, man. It's like, let's get out of this. here's what I've learned watching that show. Okay, lawyer up. You can't handle that shit. Like everybody's like, I'm gonna talk to the cops and straighten this whole thing out. You're gonna do 25 to life. Have fun with that, man. Nobody asked for a lawyer.
I've seen 300 people get interrogated on this show.
2 of them were like, I talked to a lawyer. And both times, the detectives were like, fuck. And then at the end of those episodes that said on the screen, all charges against Tyshawn were dropped. Or Jim, pick a fucking name. Let's be honest. There's no Jims on the show. I've seen every episode and none start with, hey, Bryce, can we talk to you for a second, man? Where were you last Friday? I was over at Tanner's house. Then Skylar had a party. So we went over there. And then we picked up Connor. And we had pancakes. Sorry, bro. Good detective, bro. And I get why you laugh at my physical flaws. Physical flaws are funny. They just are. Disabilities are not. But some are. Most aren't. But we know those ones, you know, like if there's a 10K or a quilt, it's pretty bad. But the rest of the are up for debate. And if you're sitting here and you're like, well, when is it ever funny? Well, luckily for you, I have 3 examples. First, foreign accent syndrome. Some of you know about it. Some of you don't. It's real. You can look it up on your way out of here. Some people experience head trauma. Not funny. But they wake up speaking your native language with a foreign accent. Very funny. I defy you to watch interviews with these people and not piss yourself laughing. Do you understand? Like a farmer in Alabama who's normally like, that guy hits his head and is now like, eh, the tractor-trailer ate it, it fell. That's not funny to you. You piece of shit. Really? The best case ever of foreign accent syndrome happened in the UK. Not only was it a British woman who lived her entire life in the UK, she never left the town she was born in for 33 years. She was in an accident, and she woke up speaking English, but with a Chinese foreign accent. Did you hear what I just fucking said? Do you now believe in God and his awesome sense of humor? A British lady who her whole life was like, hello, it's a bit of a whiffle, isn't it? Like that now says, I have not had my conversation over 2 years now. First of all, do you know how hard it is to do that impression without squinting? Secondly, if you're getting uncomfortable, like, whoa, he's mocking an Asian accent. No, she's white. This is fine. A white British lady just happens to say, would you like a cup of tea? Tastes good? You want milk? You want biscuit? Oh, good. You want me to suck the dick now? I don't know. Whatever. She's a nice British lady. She can say whatever she wants. Now, if you're sitting in your seat right now and you're like, I don't think it's funny. Well, don't get your tits in a tussle. I got 2 more for you. So what about persistent genital arousal disorder? That is a fancy way of saying never not coming. These are people that have orgasms every 90 seconds and they can't have jobs. Why can't they have jobs, Tom? Because they're coming all the time. It's not appropriate for you. We're like, can I try on the shirt? And the guy's like, fuck your shirt. I'm going to wear my old shit. I'm not wearing your fucking shirt. Can you imagine? You're like, oh, we're out of orange juice. Or just bring water. That's too much sugar. Because I don't want any more if some people suffer from both of those afflictions. You know that? It's rare, but it happens. Imagine that like you just walk up to someone, you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your dad passing away. And he's like, that feels good. I made that one up. That's not true. But that was cheap. But that was fun. Now, if you're still not on board with this, how about an old, reliable one? You know, how about Tourette syndrome? Yeah, maybe you've heard of that. If you haven't, let me tell you. When I was in 5th grade, my parents sent me to a new school on a Wednesday. I'll never forget. It was a Catholic school, and on Wednesdays, they had mass. So picture you're a new student at a new school. You don't know anybody, and the first thing you're doing is you're going to church. So I walk in, and the priest starts the service. He goes, name of the Father and the Son. And the kid in the row in front of me goes, fuck your cunt. Oh, nobody did anything. No one batted an eye. He just goes, Holy Spirit, starts reading from the Bible. This kid goes, lick my balls. Fuck you. I am laughing so goddamn hard, but I know I'm not supposed to laugh. It sounds like I'm having a stroke. I'm 10. I'm like, I have tears running down my face. And finally, I'm able to get out. Hiccup. Nobody else is laughing. And the kid next to me goes, he's got Tourette's. He gets old. 3 years. I was at that school. That shit never got old. That was the greatest gift God ever bestowed upon me. And I'll tell you this, the greatest day of my life, up until the day my son was born, was the day we had a substitute here that year. And they didn't warn her about him. So your imagination is serving you correctly. It was glorious. I watched a 10-year-old boy break a grown woman's spirit. These poor substitutes. They don't know what's going on in your class. You know, she walked in, somehow they didn't tell her, and she's like, read chapter 3, and his ticks would build, meaning they would start small. So he would sit in class and be like, so she goes, what's going on? And we're like, she doesn't know. And then he would do this every day. He would take markers and paint his own shirt. Again, every day he did it, but she doesn't know about it. So she sees it. She's like, what are you doing? He goes, what do you think, bitch? Then he keeps painting his face with the marker. And she goes, stop that. And he goes, you bitch, fuck you, you. And she's like, what's happening? What's happening? And we go, that's Kevin. Why are you crying so much right now? Like that when she killed herself, she's dead. She's out of teaching, but she's fine. So any theaters whatsoever. Yeah. For financial reasons, you want to set up the clip. Yes. So being a rescue ranger is no walk in the park all the time. And in this scene, Chip and Dale are cornered in a room and they, you know, there's bad guys on the run and there's only one way to get out. Let's take a look. Hey, that's my personal bathroom. Look for a way out of here. No, come on. There's only one way, Chip. No, that's disgusting, Jimmy. I got him. It's her only chance. Live a little, live a little. You seem excited about this, dum-dum. Ah, come on, Chip. The water's fine. Oh, dang it. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. No, I'm done. Yeah, well, that certainly gives new meaning to the term royal flush. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You are correct, sir. All right. For real. Now, speaking of Chip and Dale, we have something very exciting. Speaking of Chip and Dale, it's all we're doing now. Very exciting. As you all may know, the premiere for Chip and Dale is happening tonight. Yeah, next door to where we are right now. And as a very special treat, Disney and the Jimmy Kimmel Show would like to invite all of you. So call the babysitter and pay him more. Okay? John, I want to thank you for being here. And in case we haven't mentioned it, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is on Disney Plus, not in theater, starting Friday. We will be right back with Cheryl Hines. Welcome to Office Max. How can I help you? Take it to the max. Hey, tell me some of the jobs you had before you were a comedian. I was a waitress. I worked in an auto parts factory where I would hide in the boxes and try and take naps. I was a hardcore comic at the time and a hardcore waitress because I was good. I'm Virgo. I'm good at everything. I passed out flyers for the Boston Comedy Club on the corner of the McDougal and 3rd for 2 years. I sold vacuum cleaners, not door to door, the Mirage Hotel as a tour guide at the Dolphin Habitat. Wow. The tagline at Office Max was anytime a customer would walk in, you would have to say, welcome to Office Max. How can I help you? Take it to the max. And I couldn't do it. I worked in with my grandmother at this aviation place, and I remember I was going out with somebody from work, and she said that she was a whore. And I said, I know in stores, people would come in and I'd throw dirt in front of them, and then I'd vacuum it up. I was an assistant at Renaissance Pictures, a terrible assistant. I worked at this shipping tracking company. We were tracking shipments for sperm clinics for sperm donors. So basically I was just tracking cum all over the country, making sure it landed on time so the cum didn't go bad, shit like that. It was a dog sitting place and I had to drive like Dumb and Dumber. I had to drive the dog van to the rich people's apartments and go into their house and grab their dog who was biting and nipping at me. I would come to the table and the customer would be like, you look familiar. Like, I seen you before, was you on Comic View? And I would be like, yeah, breast in the wing or leg in the thigh. Seriously. Some people would even ask me to do the joke at the table, and he'd be like, that doesn't come with the number 2, bitch. That's the first time I got punched in the face, knocked unconscious, square in the temple off my feet. That was actually the last day I worked there. I worked in a hamburger place. Let me see here. I was a lifeguard and a sneaker salesman, so if you guys read my book, Life Lessons, I can't make this up, you would know that you didn't read my book. Go get it. Go read it. And also go on Audible and go get my other book, Decisions. Oh, guys, Kevin has a disease called promo. Where he can't not promote things, and he made some progress. Sadly, that was a step in the wrong direction. Hold on, Kevin's texting me. Neil, sorry about promoting my book on that fundraiser. My mistake. When you get a second, check out John G2 now on video. God damn it. Listen to books on tape or anything like that. No, I can't do that. You can't listen to books on tape. I've never tried. I just can't. What would annoy me? Listening to the person trying to make it sound interesting, with the inflection, with the inflections and the voice and stuff.
That would annoy you?
Yeah. because I'm defensive. Like this guy thinks I'm a fucking moron, but it's just like, and then in 1862, read it like a bailiff. Read it like a bailiff, dude. I remember, I have that reference and the bailiff read the thing. He said the arresting officer asked the defendant where he was coming from and he stated fucking Boston. And it was just like, that's what I said. That's not the way I said it. I was fucking wasted. He said, I was trying to remember. He said, where'd you come from? I was like, fuck it, Boston. The guy goes, fucking Boston. You want to get out of the car? And I was like, yeah, I wasn't a jerk. Funny. I was standing there. There's all like these people who mug people and they were like laughing like, oh, this guy's sticking it to the man, So we pulled the defendant over. After repeatedly asking the defendant to stay in the car, he got out of the car, threw his keys at my feet, and repeatedly stated, lock me up, I'm fucked up. And this was funny. Do you remember the guy who was he would do his shot, and when anybody would puke, he would stand over in the corner and not face him. He was facing the corner. So we started calling him Blair Witch. Everybody got there. So I'm crying, laughing, and then gagging as I'm telling the story. She was like, where do they find these people? And that just set me over the top. I was like, I don't know. I'm just crying, laughing. But God bless him. The reason why that thing's screaming is because it's biting its back. Okay, that's enough. That's a fix. That sounds like me trying to touch my toes every morning. I'm going to let you introduce the next topic. I don't know where to go with that, guys. Maybe you got eaten by a bear. Like if you get a hold of a regular necks just comply. They just give, can you please call your neck specials regular neck? I guarantee no one's going to try and accidentally take that title. Dude. I remember there was a fucking guy on the site. I swear to God, he wore the same fucking jeans every day with like no underwear, right? And it had a fucking giant fucking hole right here on his thigh. So I'm in fucking working in the house and I just remember he stepped over something with his left leg and the whole fucking hole moved, right? Just like flashed his fucking junk. I was just like, and I didn't know how to stand up to people. And plus, I was a new guy in the thing and I just, was wanted to be like, buddy, how about you put some fucking boxers or something? So I don't got to look at your fucking jaw. And first of all, he's walking around with like a goddamn nail gun. Not like boxers could stop that, but any extra layer of clothing that you could have. This guy's literally like his fucking shit, like an owl looking out of a tree, and yet it's burned into my head. I could pick his junk out of a lineup. All those people are paying to be there. That guy is making... I want to see somebody out there scalping tickets, and he does Vegas too. He does the fucking T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. I want to see the show. Picture of him up there, his eyes open or... No, smiling and shit is crazy. It's a lot of money that guy's making. I used to say he's so full of shit, he can't look at the crowd. That's why his eyes are like, are they still here? Are they still believing this shit when you're lying? Eye contact is the toughest fucking thing ever, but whatever. He's they people feel good. He's making his fuck. He's in show business. I want to see the show, though. The few times I did movies, everybody told me, you just missed it. Or fucking missed it. It all ended in 05, 06. And I started getting work in like fucking 09. They were like, oh my God, they fucking pay for John Travolta's jet fuel. He'd come in his own fucking, to do like one of those Hogs movies, like riding on a motorcycle. He'd be the, okay, you got to pay for my 747. So they're like, oh, John. Goes without saying. If somebody swipes your credit card number, that's their money. So then they call you up and they just go, hey, Joe, did you buy a ham hock in fucking Vancouver at a strip club? Why? No, I didn't. I was in Burbank. Good. Good luck with that. Has anybody ever bought a ham hock in a strip club? Dude, you've given me every piece of the fucking elk except that I've got some hammock for you. What do you fantasize about doing to him? Just running away. I don't want to hurt him. The guy's hurt by life. He's so damaged by life. I want to do anything to him. I just want to get the fuck away. I always picture those people and I have a giant roll of duct tape and I just put it on there. It's like a cartoon level speed. No, it's cartoon level. I just put it on their mouth and I go, and the last one, it comes up and over their head and then it hangs down. The whole rest of the tape is hanging down over their head awkwardly. And then I just go back to eating or whatever and they just sit there and slowly have to take it off. The only way I could get through that basketball guy is if I already told my wife that he did it. It annoyed me. And then what I would do is I would just be egging him on, going like, so why doesn't he play him? And just keep going. And then she would start kicking me under the table because she would start laughing. Hi, everyone. I'm Ivanka Trump. She's like Tracy Lord's sister in the 80s. He's got good-looking kids. He does. Amazing. She's good-looking, too. She's amazing. Hey, good for him. Good for him. Good for him. And if Bill Clinton wants to vaguely look in the direction of a beautiful woman, I go to pick up my guns. I got 2 guns. I got a shotgun too, but I broke it first day. Yeah, I thought I got the one that goes she, but he sold me the one that went hey. So I go to pick up my guns and my arms dealer tells me, he's like, hey man, he goes, I can't give you your guns. I said, why not? And he goes, none of your paperwork checks out. I go, what do you mean? He goes, all the bills are in your wife's name. Your car's in your company's name. I can't give you your guns. I started laughing hysterically because all I thought to myself was, our system works. How great is it that our system works? I looked at him laughing hysterically. I was like, dude, I feel safer knowing I can't get a gun than if you gave me 2 guns. I go, I'm so happy that our system works. And he looks at me dead serious and he goes, oh, you're getting your fucking guns. I was like, wow, I don't feel so good about this anymore, Kevin. He's like, no, we have a workaround. This is what he did. Called my wife on the phone, said, ma'am, I want you to print out a blank lease, then fill it out saying you rent a room in your house to your husband, fax it in to me. I get it. I'll give him his guns. My wife was cackling on the other end of the phone. Sorry, we're at full occupancy, Kevin. She sends it in. I get my guns. I love my guns. I do love my guns. I'm the kind of idiot. Yeah, I don't know if you're like me where you see a gun in a movie and I call up my arms dealer immediately. I was like, yo, Matrix Agent Smith, what gun is that? He's like, Desert Eagle 50 caliber. I go, sign me up. He's like, I can't do a 50 caliber in California. I'll get you a 40 caliber. I'll do a workaround in the office. I'll get you what you need. He's like, you can get a long gun too. What long gun do you want? I go, I need a shotgun. He's like, I just sold you a shotgun. I go, yeah, you sold me the circumcised one. I want the uncircumcised one where you can pull the hood back and just, he's like, you don't want another shotgun. You want an AR-15. I was like, whoa, slow down, brother. I go, I might not be the right guy for an AR-15. I lost my Glock for 9 days. All my wife heard was AR-15 and comes marching in the kitchen. Is that motherfucker trying to upsell you on an AR-15? Like, bitch met her talking. She's like, did you tell him you took your Glock in the shower with you? I'm like, woman. I go, Kevin, I'm not going to be a part of the problem in this country. I'm going to be a part of the solution. I'm not getting another one of these killing machines and putting out another population and losing it for 9 days and some kid finding it. All I want is my Desert Eagle, 50 caliber and a shotgun. My wife's next to me. She goes, that's the man I married. Kevin's on the other end of the phone. He goes, am I on speaker right now? I said, no. Then he goes, all right, cool. I'll have the AR-15 waiting for you. I said, bro, I really don't want the gun. He goes, give me 10 seconds and listen to me, Bert. In the event of an apocalypse, I'm like, I'm still listening. He's like, this is the best gun to defend you and your family. I couldn't even help myself. I was like, can you give me the one with the bump stock on it? My wife heard me say that and canceled my fucking lease. No, you ever meet somebody and they're so boring you feel like they poisoned you? Like you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. I think you did it. This guy's name is Craig. I met him. I made sure to get it. I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life, man.
Theo.
I met him at the bank. Is he a bank teller?
No.
Is he a security guard? Nope. What's his job? I don't know. I know. Whatever they call that guy that stands in the lobby of banks now, where like you walk in, you're like, do you work here? He's like, I think so. That guy, the lobby liaison. Well, I saw him. We made eye contact. I don't know how you work for me. If we make eye contact during the day, not at night, but during the day, out of human decency, I acknowledge you. So that's what I did. We made eye contact and I go, how you doing? And he went, and I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So then I get to the second set of doors to walk in. And as I reach for that door, I hear you going to the bank. I go, is this still a bank? He goes, yeah, I go, I'd like to. And he goes, go for it. And I was like, okay, thanks. And then I reach back and he goes, I'm going to Virginia next week. Are you telling me that? He goes, you said, how you doing when you got here? I had to think about it. That's what I'm doing. I go, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard Habate say. And also not how that question works, but all right. And now I reach back and he goes, yeah, my sister lives there. And I'm like, how long has she lived there? Now I'm roped in. He goes, 15 years. And I go, you've never been. And he goes, now I'm starting to look at him like, hey man, do you drive to work or does somebody drop you off? You know what I mean? I think you could see it in my face because out of nowhere he goes, I drive. I was like, that's cool, man. It's cool. I drive too. That's crazy. I got to get in here. He goes, yeah, we're going to check out DC and we're going to see some monuments. I go, I would love to hear about it, but I have to make a deposit. He goes, well, I'll be here when you walk out. I go, you motherfucker. Fuck that guy and fuck everybody like him. If you have the audacity to tell people how you're doing when they say how you doing, that shit is rude and selfish. All right, I'm serious. There are 2 acceptable answers to how you're doing, fine and great. And if you're miserable, you say fine. You don't burden people with your real world problems during a courteous exchange. Yeah. You guys got the All Blacks. Let's be honest. It's all we see. Jason Momoa in the gym, and he goes, "We were just watching your last night." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you look way different. You're a fat piece of in the other footage." I was like, "Cool, man." I think we spent like 12 hours hanging out. He was the most genuine, humble, fun, warm, my best friend. I consider Jason and I to have a much, much more authentic and close relationship than I have with like Brett, one of the guys I do a podcast with. I had never performed stand up in South America. I didn't even think it would ever be something that I would do. But I went to Buenos Aires, Argentina, had one of the best shows, and also ate like a fucking king. And then we flew to Chile, had an amazing show there. I stopped in Peru, in Lima, Peru, and saw family, and then finished the leg in Mexico City, came back home, got a little bit of rest, and then had to ramp up for the 40-day European tour all the way west until we ended up in the UK. Also got to do stand-up in Madrid, in Barcelona, Copenhagen, Paris, London, Birmingham, and Glasgow. A whole tour came to an end in Iceland, which was such an epic ending. It was a great way to end it all. But working with Tom is, I mean, you really can't ask for anything better. I can't. I mean, fuck, Dad. It's the greatest opportunity that I've ever gotten. He understands that, like, you know, if you treat your people properly, they're going to go above and beyond. The other thing that is a credit to him as well is that he's a very good judge of character, and he surrounds himself with great people, puts a lot of faith and trust in all of us. I, you know, by doing so, he really creates this environment that drives us. Nobody wants to be the weak link. You know, being on this tour and just meeting Tom 14 years ago has changed every single part of my life for the better. To have someone like that, that's like unconditionally supportive. Best year of my life. I love you, Tom. Thank you so much. To have someone like really take a chance on you, there's really no better feeling. I don't think I could ever tour with anybody else. Hey, Tom, Mike Cronin, I opened for View like 4 times this year. Probably don't remember because you're looking at your phone most of the time, but I just want to say I'm very proud of you, and I think you are a good person. You're a good person, and please give me more money, okay? So how is it driving for Tom? Well, I've been thinking long and hard about what I was going to say, and to be real honest with you, I can't say anything good about the man. Nice of you to talk to him for the first time the whole tour time. But don't fuck this up. I already told you about eye contact. I look down. He's just mean. He's just mean. He's a mean man. Even when he's nice, he's meant I have places to go. Fed to see. Are you high again? We work 7 days a week. No time off. I haven't seen my family in 4 years. He just blew his nose. You got to do it again. Oh, great. No, on a serious note, he's a really good guy. He's a pleasure to work for.
Easy going.
But he isn't funny. That's about it, Sam. During COVID, I was desperate to get to Canada, and it was for a very important reason. I needed to ski Chelsea, Canada. Shut up, Kevin. Canada had very strict rules at the time. It was almost impossible to get in. But when I looked on Instagram, I noticed that Kevin was filming a movie up in Canada, and he was going back and forth from Canada to America all the time. One day he was in America for Thanksgiving, and the next day he'd be back in Canada. And this was when there was a mandatory 2-week quarantine. That's enough. So I called Kevin and I told him, I don't know what your secret is, but I need your help getting across the border. And here's how great Kevin is. He said, no problem, Chelsea, I got you. I'll just get you a gig on my movie. I said, great. Behind the camera in front, I don't care. I'll direct it if I have to. He said he'd even help me fill out the paperwork. I was so excited. He said, I got you, Chelsea, I got you. And that's when I learned that he would ask Kevin for a favor. You can always count on hearing these 3 words, I got you. And then you can count on never hearing from him again. That's ridiculous. So that's the kind of man we're honoring here tonight. The kind of man who would deny a rich white lady a ski vacation during a global pandemic. On Law & Order, they tie in current events to their episodes. Like, they try and weave in real news stories. So a couple years ago on SVU, they did a episode that was based on stories about sex addiction, because all these celebrities were coming out as sex addicts. So in the episode, there was a scene where the other detectives are trying to teach Ice-T what sex addiction is, and it takes a couple of minutes, and finally Ice-T gets, and they cut to him in this close-up, and he goes, oh, I get it. You mean like when someone drinks too much or snorts cocaine or bets the house on the ponies? was like, yeah, you got it, man. And I was psyched that they understood and they could go on with the investigation. But I could have watched another 4 hours of Ice-T, just naming examples, just that shot of him. Like, or like when someone smokes too many cigarettes, or like when someone shops too much with credit cards, or like when someone plays too many scratchy lotteries, or like when someone eats too much chocolate cake and he would just keep talking and it would slowly fade out and say, created by Dick Wolf. Thanks very much. My name's John Mulaney. You're live. I'm seeing that's what gets him off. Just buy a can of Wasp bear spray. Think about it. If Wasp or bear spray was so great, then why isn't any law enforcement agency using them? Pepper spray is your best choice. Wasp spray has a disclaimer on it that it's a crime to use it in any manner other than what it's for. This is just the kind of stuff overpaid lawyers love to argue about in court. Most of us lawyers charge by the quarter hour. But regardless what a can of pesticide claims is, the law isn't necessarily accurate. Turn the Ring camera off and take care of business. Sex offenders need to be dealt with on the spot. You can call the ambulance afterwards if you want. Hold them and place them under citizen's arrest and the police will show up. Just wear gloves and a face mask, and actually it's not a joke. Be careful. So I'm sure what he wants is contact. Maybe you just got a shake weight for Christmas. I've seen the vid. Now if it was a tiny shake weight. I'm coming late to this discussion, so maybe someone has mentioned this, but semen is considered a biohazard, and that should get someone's attention. You can jerk off all you want, just don't do it in front of women and children. If you want to do it in your house, nobody cares. Nobody wants you to get arrested for that. Don't be ridiculous. Yeah, we thought it would be punk rock if we sat down. Yeah, this ain't your father's late night. My email got hacked a few weeks ago, but it was kind of cool as it was the thing where they hack into your email. Has this happened? They hack in and then they send like a weird spam link to everyone in your address book. So I basically sent a spam link to everyone I know, which was kind of nice because I don't keep in touch with people. So that's my bit for the year. That is my Christmas card as far as I'm concerned. And then everyone wrote back to me to tell me I'd been hacked. So I heard from everybody. It was nice. It was like I had a baby or something. Email viruses bring people together in amazing ways. One guy I know emailed me and he said, hey, clicked on the link you sent. I don't want to buy any herbal Viagra. And he wasn't being funny. I've known him for 17 years. He's not a funny person. He's an idiot. And so what I liked about that was a few things. One, he clicked on the link. Who the hell still clicks on the link when you get the spam link? And this, by the way, this was the ugliest internet link I've ever seen in my life. It had like dollar signs and swastikas and looked like a virus. I don't mean an internet virus. I mean, it looked like if HPV was a website written out. He got that in a blank email and he went, okay. And he clicked on it. He was intrigued. And then he is taken to a website that sells something called herbal Viagra. His first thought is that I am now selling herbal Viagra. But do you know what kind of offended me? It was that he thought that that's how I would sell herbal Viagra. That I would be that piss poor of a salesman, that I would just put a link in a blank email with the subject line, check this out, which I've never said before in my life. And then in the 2 column, I'd write everybody and I go, man, this speaks for itself. If I was going to email everyone I've ever met about a very shaky new business I was involved in, I would write a long, like, introduction letter before I got to the link. I would be like, dear friends and family, comedy did not work out. Also, have you ever wanted to try Viagra, but you fear the side effects of the non-herbal kind? Well, me and my Cayman Island business partners have the solution for you. Just click on the swastika below, and in seconds, you'll be taken to the world's ugliest website. I hope you can read pink on purple, as that is the layout we have chosen. Thank you. So, I didn't pause for that, but that's nice. I paused for that. That's why I pause. I turned 30 recently. I watch movies very differently because you understand, for years and years I was a child, and when I would watch an action movie, I would identify with the action hero who's trying to help people. Now, when I watch an action movie, I only identify with, like, the side characters who are off in the corner rolling their eyes. You know, the ones that are like Spider-Man, like those types. That's how I'd feel if I heard about a Spider-Man, you know. Who's my favorite action hero when I was a kid was Michael J. Fox's Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Who was my hero? I love Marty McFly. He's great, right? I wanted to be like him in every way. I watched that movie again recently. Marty McFly is a 17-year-old high school student whose best friend is a disgraced nuclear physicist, and I shit you not, they never explain how they became friends, and we were all fine with it. We never even asked, that. We were just like, who's his best friend? A disgraced nuclear physicist. Okay, yeah, proceed. Yep, no, it's good. Proceed with the movie. I know Back to the Future is a great movie and a hit movie. It's a very weird movie. I just watched it again. It has a lot of weird things in it. Two guys had to go in and sell that movie. Two guys had to go into a movie studio and be like, okay, so we have an idea for the next huge family action movie. And it's about a guy named Marty, and he's a high school student, and he's very lazy. He's always sleeping late. They're like, okay. Is he cool like Ferris Bueller? No, but he has a best friend. Yeah, who's a disgraced nuclear physicist. I'm sorry, I'm Omov. This is another student, oh, no. This other guy is either like 40 or 80 even. We don't know how old he's supposed to be. Anyway, so one day, the boy and the scientist, they build a time machine. Whoa, okay. I think I see where this is going now. Let me guess. They build a time machine, and they go back in time, and they stop the Kennedy assassination. Oh, no. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, we didn't even think of that. Okay, well, what do they do with the time machine? Well, now I'm embarrassed to say. All right. Here goes nothing. We thought, that it would be fun for people if the boy, he went back in time and he tried to fuck his mom. We thought that would be fun. And then, oh yeah, no, but don't worry. He doesn't get to fuck the mom because this family friend named Biff shows up and he tries to rape the mom, in front of the son. And then the dad, he has to date the RA rapist off of her. And we're also going to say that a white man wrote Johnny Bay good. So we're going to take that away from them. Well, this sounds like a fantastic movie. We are definitely going to make this. Now, you say that they go to the past. Do you want to call it Back to the Past? No. Back to the Future, right? But they go to the past, yeah. Oh, hi. My email got hacked a few weeks ago, but it was kind of cool. So it was the thing where they hack into your email. Has this happened? They hack in and then they send like a weird spam link to everyone in your address book. So I basically sent a spam link to everyone I know, which was kind of nice because I don't keep in touch with people. So that's my bet for the year. That is my Christmas card as far as I'm concerned. And then everyone wrote back to me to tell me I'd been hacked. So I heard from everybody. It was nice. It was like I had a baby or something. Email viruses bring people together in amazing ways. One guy I know emailed me and he said, hey, I clicked on the link you sent. I don't want to buy any herbal Viagra. And he wasn't being funny. I've known him for 17 years. He's not a funny person. He's an idiot. So what I liked about that was a few things. One, he clicked on the link. Who the hell still clicks on the link when you get the spam link? And this, by the way, this was the ugliest internet link I've ever seen in my life. It had like dollar signs and swastikas and looked like a virus. I don't mean an internet virus. I mean, it looked like if each PV was a website written out, he got that in a blank email and he went, okay. And he clicked on it. He was intrigued. And then he is taken to a website that sells something called herbal Viagra. And his first thought is that I am now selling herbal Viagra. But do you know what kind of offended me? It was that he thought that that's how I would sell herbal Viagra. That I would be that piss poor of a salesman. That I would just put a link in a blank email with the subject line, check this out. Which I've never said before in my life. And then in the 2 column, I'd write everybody and I go, and this speaks for itself. If I was going to email everyone I've ever read about a very shaky new business I was involved in, I would write a long like introduction letter before I got to the link. I would be like, dear friends and family, comedy did not work out. Also, have you ever wanted to try Viagra, but you fear the side effects of the non-herbal kind?
Well, me and my Gaming Island business partners have the solution for you.
Just click on the swastika below, and in seconds you'll be taken to the world's ugliest website. I hope you can read pink on purple, as that is the logo we have chosen. Hi, that was you, thank you. I didn't pause for that, but that's nice. I paused for that. That's why I paused. I turned 30 recently. I watch movies very differently because you understand, for years and years, I was a child, and when I would watch an action movie, I would identify with the action hero who's trying to help people. Now, when I watch an action movie, I only identify with like the side characters who are off in the corner rolling their eyes. The ones that are like Spider-Man, like those types. That's how I'd feel if I heard about a Spider-Man, You know who's my favorite action hero when I was a kid? It was Michael J. Fox's Marty McFly in Back to the Future. He was my hero. I loved Marty McFly. Great, right? Oh, I wanted to be like him in every way. I watched that movie again recently. Marty McFly is a 17-year-old high school student whose best friend is a disgraced nuclear physicist. And they never explained how they became friends. And we were all fine with it. We never even asked, we were just like, who's his best friend? A disgraced nuclear physicist. Okay, yeah, proceed. Yep. No, just good. Proceed with the movie. I know Back to the Future is a great movie and the hit movie. It's a very weird movie. I just watched it again. It has a lot of weird things in it. Two guys had to go in and sell that movie. Two guys had to go into a movie studio and be like, okay, so we have an idea for the next huge family action movie. And it's about a guy named Marty, and he's a high school, and he's very lazy. He's always sleeping late. They were like, okay. Is he cool like Ferris Bueller? No, but he has a best friend, who's a disgraced nuclear physicist. I'm sorry, I'm confused. This is another student or, I don't know, no. This other guy is either like 40 or 80 even. We don't know how old he's supposed to be. Anyway, so one day, the boy and the scientist, they built a time machine. Whoa. Okay, I think I see where this is going now. Let me guess. They build a time machine and they go back in time and they stop the Kennedy assassination.
I don't know now.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, we didn't even think of that. Okay, well, what do they do with the time machine? Well, now I'm embarrassed to say, all right, here goes nothing. We thought, that it would be fun for people if the boy, if he went back in time and he tried to fuck his mom. We thought that would be fun. And then, oh yeah, no, but don't worry. He doesn't get to fuck the mom because this family friend named Biff shows up and he tries to rape the mom, in front of the son. And then the dad, he has to beat the rapist off of her. And we're also going to say that a white man wrote Johnny B. Good. So we're going to take that away from them. Well, this sounds like a fantastic movie. We are definitely going to make this.
Now, you say that they go to the past.
Do you want to call it Back to the Past? No. Back to the Future, right? But they go to the past.
Yeah. Good night, Montreal. Thanks for your time, everybody.
You've been wonderful. Thank you. People say, do you ever smoke marijuana? I go, I don't need another reason to be hungry. Like, you ever seen a guy hit on a woman through a group of other people? Like, not even bother walking up to her. Just, like, yells at her, like, hey, you with the tits, you guys move. What's up? I'm Greg. Like that guy. My name is John Mulaney, and a few things about myself. I should tell you. For years, I was a child, and during that time, I went to a school, right? But I was terrible in school. I was awful at it. My worst subject was math. And in the grade school that I went to, they did this thing one year where they divided all the kids up into 2 different math groups, right? Based on your abilities. And the first group that you would be in was called the Blue Angels. And it was named after the famous aviators. And the other group was called Group 2.
Yeah.
Oh, we were a swell bunch of kids in Group 2. The best part of it is we picked the name ourselves. The teacher was like, what are we going to call you, Group 2? And we were like, bingo. You got it right there. 4 and 5 is 12. My name is John Mulaney. And a few things about myself I should tell you. For years, I was a child. And during that time, I went to a school, right? But I was terrible at Tittle school. I was awful at it. My worst subject was math. And in the grade school that I went to, they did this thing one year where they divided all the kids up into 2 different math groups, right? Based on your abilities. And the first group that you could be in was called the Blue Angels, and it was named after the famous aviators. And the other group was called Group 2. Yeah. Oh, we were a swell bunch of kids in Group 2. Best part of it is we picked the name ourselves. The teacher was like, what are we going to call you? Group 2? And we were like, bingo, you got it right there. 4 and 5, 12. I watch two crime stuff. I do too many crime dramas. I love Law & Order. That is my favorite show on television. I love Law & Order. Good. I love Law & Order because it's the same episode every single time. Like, it's the same thing again and again. Law & Order is to the point that, like, you see the same types of characters on every Law & Order. Some of my personal favorites, I see there is a guy who, while being questioned by homicide detectives, he will not stop unloading crates. Doesn't matter to this guy. Double rape and murder. Nah, he's got to unload that van. The detectives will show up with all these serious questions, and this guy is just like Tony Ramirez. Yeah, I remember him. He used to work here Tuesdays, right? It's like, dude, people have died. How often are you questioned by homicide detectives? I love Law & Order, and I miss Jerry Orbach more than dead relatives of mine. He was the best. He was the best. For those of you that don't know who that is, Jerry Orbach. He was a wonderful actor. He played Detective Lenny Briscoe on Law & Order for many, many years. He was also the dad in Dirty Dancing. He's the one that put Baby in the corner. That's right. He was a wonderful actor, but a couple years ago he died. Now you may know that, or you may not know, and I am not lying to you, Montreal. I wouldn't do that. After Jerry Orbach died, this is absolutely true. He donated his eyes to the New York Eye Bank. He was an eye donor. So there's these signs all around New York that say Jerry Orbach gave his heart and soul to the gift of acting and the gift of sight to two New Yorkers. Two New Yorkers got Jerry Orbach's eyes. Sorry. Like as a transplant, not just they have, like they got them put in two different New Yorkers. Though that is fascinating to me because they're two different New Yorkers. They probably don't know each other, right? They're probably strangers. Oh, that would make a great movie. That would make a great romantic comedy. Oh, I can see the preview now. They're just like, he's an average guy who only likes sports. Dude, you sold your grandmother's wedding ring. What? It was for season tickets. She's a businesswoman who only likes business. Right? Could you turn off that Bluetooth? We're in a baptism. He's March Madness. She's Merrill Lynch. Got it. Like they have one thing in common. They both have Jerry Orbach's eyeballs shoved into their face. New Line Cinema presents Love at First Sight. This summer, love is spelled with two eyes, and the scene, I thought a lot about it. Thank you. And the scene where the guy and the girl finally find each other, because the first act of the movie, they get the eye transplant. That's a given. The rest of the movie, they're walking around New York, but they keep like crisscrossing paths, like in that movie Serendipity, which is not bad. So they're walking around. They're like, oh, when are they finally going to meet? And here's the scene where they meet. Okay. Because if you remember on Law and Order, whenever Jerry Orbach saw a dead body, he'd date a funny little joke. He'd make a one-liner every single time. So the guy and the girl are coming down the street from opposite ends of the street. All right. And there's an alley in the middle of the street, and there's a teacher lying dead in the alley. At the same moment, they both go, huh, school's out. And then they lock eyes, Sam.